Welcome back to another video. So it is Thursday afternoon, it's like 2 o'clock. I am back in routine. I got back to my friend's wedding yesterday. It was a fairly hectic day yesterday, so 5.5 hours of travel, got home, had to do a food shop immediately. Tesco's had no meat that we wanted, so had to then go to Sainsbury's and basically do 2 food shops. But that's fine. So actually yesterday ended up being quite productive because I got in so much food. So then today, as soon as I got up, I did all of my coaching work, caught up with everyone, finished a couple of programs I had to finish, and then I just food prepped. So I've made loads of meals up ready for the week, and I'm now on my way to my parents, going to hang out there for a little while. I've got a meal to have like a few hours before I train, so I'm probably going to be there for quite a while before I actually train. I'll probably train a little bit later. But that's not a problem. We are going into, we are already on week 3, but it's heavy session of week 3. So a 180 double is planned on squats for week 3 of the block. Little bit crazy. If things don't feel 100%, I might go a little bit lighter, but generally speaking, I always just load up anyway. So 180 double on squats is the plan. Very excited for that. And then bench, I can't remember what I've got. I think it's my top single, then 5x3 day. Can't remember what I did last week. Have no idea what I've written down for this week. My mind is just, I'm finally feeling kind of back to my normal self. Like I had a really good night's sleep last night. Well, apart from my arm going numb, but it didn't go numb until like 7ish in the morning. So I actually slept pretty solidly from like 10:30 till 7, which was lovely. Like I felt really good after that. I did stay in bed for a bit longer because why not? And yeah, I just feel like I've had a bit of a reset day. I feel back to my normal self. Had a lovely few days away, but I am ready to get back in routine until Commonwealth now and excited to just grind away. No idea what I weighed this morning. Food at the wedding, there was actually quite a lot of food and I did indulge, but it's like a one-off occasion, it's fine. I would imagine I'll still be like 86-ish after a couple of days. I'm going to start adding some more cardio in now, I think, as well. Partly just to make myself feel a bit better as well and just feel like I'm moving my body a bit more. But yeah, nothing else to really update on. Back in routine, feeling miles better, feeling rested and excited to just work now until Commonwealth.
We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again. And tell me what you want, this time I won't take it to the heart. Cause I know we won't make it out, I've heard it all before. Yeah, tell me what you want, let me hear that I'm the only one. You know that we won't make it out, we've heard it all before. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright.
Okay, so squats are done. You can probably tell from the state of me, it's very warm. I made a decision. If you've seen last week's video, you'll know that I had the doors open for the start of my session and the gym got full of like flies and bugs because it's dark here and then obviously the lights attract them. So I made a decision tonight to squat with the doors shut, but I regretted it because I'm very warm. But 180 for 2 moved so well. I was very nervous. Like my warm-ups didn't feel fantastic. They never do on week 3 and I reminded myself of that and I watched them all back and they looked absolutely fine. So yeah, I just loaded up 180, squatted it for 2. I was nervous, but the unrack felt super strong. And yeah, I was just confident and I'm so happy with how it moved. It felt really comfortable. I am very excited for next week. Not sure what I'm going to load yet. I know roughly what I'm thinking of loading, but there is a little bit of a range. I also think I'm probably going to go to powering through, provided there's going to be people there for me to train with and obviously have it as spotters. But we'll see. If not, I'll go to probably Iron Warehouse because I'll be able to get some friends to come and spot me, hopefully, if I ask nicely. Or there'll be people there. I'll figure it out. Anyway, 180 for 2, moved really well. 157 for 4s, moved absolutely fine. Like it's getting to the point where my back offs are heavy enough that they do require a bit more work now, but I still kept rest breaks pretty short. I'm a mess, as you can see, and I still got them all done. They all felt fine. First one moved pretty much identically to the last set. So very happy. Squats couldn't have gone better. I also had someone comment on my last video, well, it'll be the 2 videos ago by the time I put this one and my next one up, or my last one up. Yeah, so had someone ask why I do my last warm-up beltless, and they mentioned in their comment that surely it's better to do your last warm-up with a belt that is essentially identical to your top set, so that you can get things moving the same the whole way through, and they are completely correct with that. I do my last warm-up beltless, and it's not something I particularly recommend to people. It's basically something that I have always done. I don't know when I got into the habit of it, why I got into the habit of it, or anything like that. It's just something that I've always done. And I think it's only really now started to be something that I'm thinking about and questioning more with my own training. Because before, I don't think my top sets ever seemed heavy enough. And my last warm-ups were always so light in comparison because I've always taken big jumps, even when I was weaker. Like when my top sets were like 140-ish, my last warm-up would still only be like 125, which I knew I could do beltless. So I've basically just got in the habit of always doing my last warm-up beltless. And now it's become like a mental, like psychological thing for me where I kind of say to myself, well, if you can squat that last warm-up beltless and it move well, there is no reason why when you put your belt on, you can't nail your top set. And it's like become like a mental thing for me. And I think it does also help me really cue proper bracing and not relying on the belt for that as well, like for myself. But yeah, they are completely right. You really should mimic your top set on your last warm-up. Like, I mean, all the way through, you should make things pretty much identical. Like a lot of people squat, there's like maybe not the first or second warm up with their belt on, but after that they do. But then some people also don't put their nieces on until they're like close to top end. So it varies from person to person, but essentially the person that commented, you are correct. Like it would make sense for me to wear my belt for my last warm up, and I would recommend it to pretty much anyone to do, but it's just one of my little stubborn things that I've always done. And I think I'm now just at that point where psychologically I'm just like, if I can squat my last warm up well without my belt, then putting my belt on, there is no reason I should be nervous because it'll feel even more solid. And to be fair, it always does. So yeah, that's the logic behind it. It's essentially a bad habit that I never got out of, and it works for me at the moment. I think as I get stronger, my strength is obviously progressing at a pretty quick rate right now, and I am lifting numbers that are obviously heavy. So I might get to a point where I start wearing my belt, even like next week. So my last warm up for my heavy squats next Thursday will probably be like 170 to 175, depending on what I load for my top set. So I might put my belt on for that because that is a little bit heavy for me mentally to be like, oh yeah, I can do that without a belt. But then I also think if I don't put my belt on and it moves well, then I'm going to be so confident for my top set. So that's my logic behind it. And I might not stay in this habit forever. I probably shouldn't. I've had people tell me that I shouldn't, but then that makes me even more stubborn to prove that I can. Not a good habit to have. But yeah, that's basically the explanation behind it. It's just a habit I got into. It's not something I would necessarily recommend. And if you put your belt on, like, don't suddenly stop wearing your belt for your last warm up just because that's what I do and it works for me. Keep doing what you're doing. If you're wearing your belt for your last warm up, you might as well just continue. It's not going to take anything away from you. If you're worried about, relying on your belt, you could always just do some light beltless work somewhere else in your week or in your block, or do a block focusing on beltless squats. It's not necessarily like, not being funny, you compete with a belt on. So if you have to wear a belt to squat, can't get my words out in order, then it doesn't matter because you're going to compete with a belt, if that makes sense. Rant over. Speaking over, I need to set up for bench. Well, I'm pretty much set up for bench. I need to bench and I need to cool down because I'm so disgustingly sweaty. Like, it's a hot night when my fringe has become a full fringe again and my hair is just like melted forward. I think I'm going to put my headband on for bench. Anyway, I'm going to bench.
It's alright, so let's move on. 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 We head for the sky, it's alright. Our wings wouldn't fly, it's alright. If we are crashing down again, pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright. You're giving me a lie again.
Okay, so session is done. Very good session. Really set me up well for next block, well, but next week. Bench went really well. So bench 112. The plan for today was 110, but that was only because I think I was mentally nervous. So I benched 110 last week. So really there's no reason why I shouldn't have just progressed that slightly this week. And 112 today actually moved better than 110 last week. The pause was a little bit shorter, but I think that was just nerves. But the fact that 112 moved so comfortably today, I'm very excited. Anything above 110 at comp, I'll be over the moon with. So really happy with that. If I can match that next week for the final week of the block on the Eleco pad at Powering Through, I will be over the moon. Back offs 5x3 at 102.5. Some sets were a bit scrappier than others, but for the most part, they were all fine. I was confident the whole way through. Some reps were a little bit grindy. Some reps were more dumped on my chest than others, but for the most part, they were fine. And the last set actually, well, the last 2 sets were actually by far the best. Yeah, I know I've got no complaints. And then RDLs, I PB'd my RDL. I've never done 120 on RDLs before. I think before today my best was 110, I think, for like 5 or 6, but that would like take it out of me, where I just did 5 reps at 120, and actually, although it felt kind of heavy, it moved absolutely fine. There was definitely more room. I could probably do 130 next week if I was going to push them next week, but I don't think I am, because next week is the final week of the block, so my conventional deadlifts are being moved from day 1 to day 3, which means that when I go to Powering Through next Thursday, I will be doing squat, bench and conventional deadlifts, so I probably won't know RDL until week 1 of the following block, which is comp block. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But anyway, not too much to say. I'm not going to talk too much in this. I feel like I just want to get back on track with my videos, edit them quickly, get them up, and then I can get back to it twice a week now that my routine is settled down. I'm so excited to have just like a normal routine again. Like, I instantly felt better when I woke up this morning knowing that my life was just going to be calm now until comp. Well, obviously travelling out and stuff probably won't be as calm, but I'm just, yeah, I'm feeling much better knowing that my routine between now and when I leave South Africa is going to be normal. Weekends are also a complete rest as well, because I've moved my accessory day that would normally be like, so normally after today I would have a rest day and then do my full body accessory day, which is quite leg focused. I've decided to bring that forward a day to a Friday so that I can have 2 full rest days at the weekend. Mostly because I know I can push that accessory day anyway, and an extra rest day before my like SBD on a Monday isn't a bad thing, and also mentally it gives me a full weekend off so I can just focus. Like Saturday for me is normally mostly a day off. I'll do some client replies first thing in the morning, but then I tend to just zone out for the rest of the day, like before I would usually train or whatever else. So now Saturdays is going to be, I'll work for the first few hours of the day, and then it'll just be like a fully like relaxing almost day off, get stuff done in the house if I want to. Sunday as well can be just like programming day, again catching up with people, and then usually by like 2 p.m. my phone is on do not disturb, and although I will still reply to the odd message if I see it come through, for the most part most of my clients don't train on a Sunday afternoon or evening, or they don't send things through until the Monday anyway, so it just gives me an actual weekend for the most part. Obviously there'll still be some work in there, but it's work that I enjoy. It's not going to feel like work, so it's fine. And then I'll train Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and that is the plan until Commonwealth, apart from the week that I fly out where my SBD will actually have, where my Monday session is going to be brought forward to a Sunday just because I fly overnight on the Sunday and I don't particularly want to land in South Africa at 7:30 in the morning, travel, I think it's 2 hours to the hotel to then do SBD, especially because my like, or squats and bench it would be, my like secondary day, my first squat and bench day of the week, or squat bench deadlift day of the week, isn't a day that I don't taper into comp. I'm not tapering into this comp. Like, it's still going to be a pretty heavy, probably PB day, so I would rather do that the day before I fly, or like the morning before I fly. Hope that makes sense. Not really relevant, it's still weeks away. But yeah, I'm very excited. The fact that I can move these lifts this well tonight, where week 3 never feels fantastic anyway. My food has been pretty trash the last 2 days. Like at the wedding, it was like kind of like kebabs and stuff, and it was like the meal during the day was okay, but then the evening was just pizza and cake, obviously. And I didn't turn down the wedding cake because it was really tasty. So yeah, and then on the way home yesterday, so Wednesday, it was just grab what we could. Like, I'd ran out, I mean, I had water, but I literally was dehydrated for most of the drive home. I didn't eat properly until 3 p.m, which was a McDonald's. And then I did eat a tub of ice cream when I got home too. Well, I say when I got home, it was when I was in bed and I was like, I fancy something sweet. But I was like, do you know what? I've got it in the freezer. Let's eat it. I fancied it. And then I knew that I'd already done a food shop, but I didn't want to cook last night because I knew that I was meal prepping for most of today. So I was like, I'll just have whatever I can last night. And then today, meal prep loads of food. It felt so good to just eat my normal diet today. And yeah, basically what I'm saying is I'm very excited now that I can just dial everything in. What the hell am I going to be able to lift with everything dialed in? I said all along, if this block goes well, that is the confidence boost I need to believe in myself going into this competition, because this block, so far, everything has just been muddle through, throw together, rush through things. Like, my first week of the block was completed in 4 days. I trained I think I squatted like 4 times in the space of a week. Like, that's not optimal. And then obviously I had my holiday, came back, had to like cram more sessions in to then go to my friend's wedding. So like, now that things are settling down, what am I going to be able to do? Very excited. Anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up here. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I don't know when this is going to be up. I've still got another video I need to upload as well from my session earlier in this week. But I will get all videos up very soon, and we'll get back to twice a week videos, and hopefully regularly, like spaced out as well. So I don't know what days is going to work best for me to upload, because I'm training on a Monday, so Mondays and Fridays, which I used to do, won't work until after Commonwealth. But that's irrelevant. Anyway, thank you if you made it to the end of the video. Please leave a like, please comment, let me know what you think of my lifts, let me know how you think things are moving, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you soon for the next video.
It's alright if we are crashing down again. Pieces of love, it's alright. Scattered in mud, it's alright.